Welcome back, guys. I have some more Freedom Friday content for you. If you're not familiar with Freedom Fridays, they're where I talk about everything Office Without Walls and Office Without Walls lifestyle, which means I'm talking about everything it takes to be a remote professional and what goes into that, tips and tricks of the trade. I could be talking about everything from technology and maintaining that to maintaining your remote work team, motivating yourself as a remote professional, wellness, happiness, anything, because an Office Without Walls is where you can work as a remote professional, pursue your passion, pursue your what drives you, and do it happily, healthily, and without compromising quality of life. That's what I'm talking about for Office Without Walls and an Office Without Walls lifestyle. Today I'm talking about social media calendars, social media posts, branding, all of that, because guess what, guys? I'm pumped. I just finished mapping out my social media calendar for the next 3 months out. That's right, through July. And it's taken a long time to figure out getting this done and being consistent. So I wanted to share with that while I got the energy up and while I'm excited about it. I have some websites, some apps, some things, some suggestions for you. Of course, it's not the only way to do it, but it's how I got it done, and I wanted to share that with you. So let's go, guys. I'm pumped. Let's jump right in. Before we get started, go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube so you can get notifications every time I post. Creating 3 months of social media content in 3 days. That's what I did. And regardless of who you are, whether you're growing as a professional, regardless of the industry you're in, if you're growing as a professional, this subject matter, this presentation applies to you. Whether you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, you're selling things, you're branding yourself, you're letting people know about your services, or you're working for somebody else and you're networking and growing your portfolio, whatever you're doing, positioning yourself for advancement in your industry, your online presence matters. Even more so than before COVID, because that's where people are going to find their information. We were already headed in that direction, even more so now. So regardless of what industry you're in, how you work for yourself or for somebody else, this subject matter applies to you. We're talking about your online presence. It is applicable to Office Without Walls because we're talking about your time and your freedom. Obviously, your actual free time, and maybe not so obviously your freed up mental space so that you can continue to create, continue to grow, continue to flourish, continue to advance and explore the things that you want to explore that are making you great, that are giving you the spirit and the energy you have, and so you can continue and head in that direction. Also giving yourself the opportunity to establish clarity for yourself and clarity in the messages you're conveying to others about where you're going so that you can make those connections that will help you get to where you are trying to get to ultimately. So looking at content creation, how do we get organized? First of all, we want to convey consistent messages. We want to make sure that not everybody's going to see every post. So one post with information about who you are and what you do is not going to cut it. You have to convey those same messages over and over again, and you need to make them short and to the point because people have short attention spans. So let's get organized about our content and what we're creating. Here are four questions you can ask yourself, or 4 areas you can focus on that'll make that very clear and get you to the point. What services, products, or expertise do you have to offer? What do you want people to know about your services, your expertise, whatever your brilliance is? What do you want them to know? Why? What drives you? Why should they even care? What is your purpose? What is your passion? Why are you different? How do you stand out? Why should they be listening to you? Who are you? Why should they choose you? How do they find you, more importantly? And if you want to go beyond that, calls to action so that they have an initiative and a way to just hit a button and go find you. Calls to action telling them what to do in order to engage with you. Calls to action telling them how to engage with your services or buy your product. And lastly, value, because it's not all about you. How can you demonstrate value in that you can offer something to them? So your posts need to have content that actually offers value, not just talking about, hey, this is what we do. What value can you offer to your reader, to your consumer, to your listener? I'm going to be using 2 applications, Adobe Spark and Loomly today. Adobe Spark is a content creation app through Adobe, obviously, and Loomly is a post scheduling software application. There are other ones, of course, obviously. I posted on the right-hand side some of those. Hootsuite is one example. Not my favorite, but some people love it, so just letting you know there are other ones out there. Adelphi is another one. Canva and Trello are content creation applications. They're a little bit more less do-it-yourself than Adobe Spark. If you are gun shy on creating or getting into the creative space yourself with graphics and stuff, maybe use templates and work from them. Of course, Adobe Spark also has templates to use as well. So let's get out of this slideshow and let's get into the actual content creation. Adobe Spark, this is what it looks like in the when you open it up. One thing that's great about Adobe Spark is it allows you to, you don't have to guess, right? It gives you some direction with your brand. So this is what a brand will look like in Adobe Spark. I created the brand by just uploading the business logos. It spat out color suggestions, and these color suggestions, I can get more of those color suggestions, will show up in as suggestions as I go out throughout my designing and any of the graphics that I create. One of the first things you can do if you don't know where to start is to start with a branded graphic. It'll take the colors from your logo and spit out suggestions for post creations that you can tweak and use to your liking. I like that they're crisp, sharp, professional. You may even recognize some of the templates from things I've used. I'll click on this one, this workshop flyer. This is one that was attracted me initially because I liked the overlay here where I knew I wanted to put some text, but I also have an image behind in the background and keep the logo in the forefront as well. That's what I did when I started creating some of my posts, and I'll show you examples of those now. That was all from creating a brand and then using a branded graphic to spit that out. That turned into some of the quotation or content pieces that you see. For example, here, this post was a content value about, do I need a non-disclosure agreement? Obviously still have the services that I offer, picture of me because that's part of the brand, but also content that gives people information that might actually be helpful and useful. So that's an example of how I got there. So I had that overlay. I was working here with some text. You can put shapes around text, as you can see here. The shape that I used was a circle. There's other shapes. I won't get too far into here. And just playing around with creating those graphics, but it started with that branded graphic. And one of the great things about these posts is that you don't have to create everything from scratch, right? So, for example, if I wanted to create a, with the some of the content for the Office Without Walls, I went with a remote hack theme. So remote hacks, I number them, and those spit out every Monday. I don't have to recreate the wheel every time. If I wanted to take that post and create a new one, you'll see here, you can duplicate a post, rename it something else. This one was Keep Learning. We'll just say test, because I can't think of anything better right now. And we'll duplicate that post. And it you can play around with the text in the post. You can play around with the filters on the picture, completely change what you're looking at. So for example, here, the filters come in down here, take the filter off, it becomes a color picture, completely different post, change the hack number, change what it is, and bingo bango, you want to download that, it will download a JPEG, whatever format you want, save it where you need to, and you have a new post. And you can, I love how you can see everything obviously in one place, but you can create posts without images as well if it's not part of what you're going for in terms of pictures of yourself and that's not part of your brand. You're just creating content, just keeping in mind adding value, making sure you have your logo, making sure you have how to reach you, if not a call to action to do so. And when it comes to scheduling, we'll hop over here to Loomly. This is a scheduler. I also mentioned Hootsuite. One thing I like about Loomly is the way it's organized and the views. The Loomly allows me to view it in a calendar view, which is more agreeable to me. I'll show you how I've mapped out. This is what I did in 3 days, was mapped out 3 months worth of posts, May, June, July. And there's still room to grow, but there's at a minimum posts every day. I've left a free space here to show you how to create a post, and that's pretty easy. Build a post. You specify the time of day you want it to post. We'll say it's called a client testimonial. That goes under the tags of brand and services. I'll jump back over there about the distinctions or the themes and being consistent in a second. Next, specify the networks you want it to post to. This will post across 5 different social media streams. at one time. Put your content sample text here. We're going to go ahead and grab a picture from our repository. We'll just pick something. Do I have rights to the grandparent? Awesome. Plug it in there, hit next, and it'll show you a preview across each different platform. You can specify the network you want it to go to and then hit schedule. And when you pop back into your social media calendar view, you'll see it is populated for the 6th of July and we're all set to go. So that is a little overview of content creation. Remember, actually let me just say the tags you'll see here to help yourself be consistent. Create tags. This is a consistent Monday post, remote hacks. That is content and value and branding. Also letting people know what I'm passionate about. Office Without Walls and all of those things. This one was about Find Your Third Space that went out this week, for example. But also the services I offer, being clear, family law, estate planning, brands and services with the client testimonial, letting people know what the brand is, what the why is. And so creating those tags will help you stay organized as well. It'll help make this board look organized for you. Also want to show you that you can move posts around. So moving a client testimonial from here to another day, moving it back, completely doable, although I'm messing it up right now. And you can also duplicate these posts the same way. Duplicating the in Adobe Spark, you can duplicate posts right by clicking on the ellipsis and creating duplicate, change the date, and you'll be posting it on a different date, so not reinventing the wheel. There are posts from February that can be recycled because it's been long enough and we're trying to repeat the messages as well anyway. So that's an overview, creating 3 months worth of content in 3 days, how I did it using Adobe Spark, Loomly, but going in organized with remembering, the what, the why, the who, and the value with regards to the content creation, being consistent, mapping that out. And just sit down and create and carve out a weekend to get it done. It'll be taxing and you'll want to take a nap after, but it'll be done and you won't have to think about it for the next 3 months. Those are my tips and suggestions. Thank you for tuning in to another Freedom Friday video. I look forward to joining you again. Again, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. You can see every time I post. I'll be talking about some tech next week, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.